have to be honest with you, because I find myself to be very frustrated with just using my iPhone like people tell you to do. Now, I've been recording this one clip all day to the point where I'm nervous that I'm going to lose the daylight that I have left before I get this clip completed, because every single time I think the clip is complete, I go look at the footage and there's something wrong. The first time, the very first issue I had was, well, let me just show it to you. All right, so I want to show you something really quickly. Right now, this is the video I just recorded, and take a listen at this. So right now I am in what I consider. As you can see, for whatever reason, the audio is not in sync. Even if I leave out of here and I go over to the Photos app, this is that exact same video right here. And when I hit play, watch this. Now, after figuring out the drift sync issue, I then realized that the file sizes that I was dealing with was way too big, and it wasn't feasible for me to be able to sustain recording. In fact, let me just show you that clip too. This is the video that we just done, that for the compromise, you can see that this video is 33.24 gigabytes, which is insane file size. And if we look at the length of the video, it's only 8 minutes and 23 seconds. Like, that is massive. 8 minutes and you walking away with a 33.24 gigabyte file size. That's definitely something to consider. So what I want to do right now is I just want to drop both of these over to my actual iPad, because that's where I'm going to be recording and editing and showing you all the fun things. So right here, we can see that to drop this over here is probably going to take about, let's see here. All right, so it looks like it's going to take about roughly a minute and a half. So probably about 2 minutes. To be on the safe side, we can say it takes about 2 minutes, give or take a few seconds to do that export. But that means that every single video you get is almost better to just record directly to an SD card if you're going to be dealing with these type of file sizes, to save you some time on the productivity side of waiting on this to transfer over and things like that. All right, and we're coming down to the last 2 seconds. So after discovering the file sizes was insanely big, I went in, I tweaked the settings to give me a smaller size. And once I thought everything was finished and everything was good, well, let me show you what happened. All right, so we can see really quickly, it's a massive difference in these file sizes. And remember, this was 8 minutes. This video clip is roughly about 11 minutes, I want to say. And it's still smaller. So you can see 5 gigabytes versus 33 gigabytes. I'll take that all day. And the transfer speeds over is going to be much faster as well. But more importantly, the only thing I have to consider is if the dynamic range when it comes to color grading still look good. As long as that still look good, then it's a winner. Let's see what's going on. Oh, okay, it's already done. So if I pull over, all right. With my A camera is always in log, and that's what I'm used to. Now with my B camera, with my actual, we might have just found a new problem. Like, what happened to the image? That A, capture that same magic you had at first. So you really want to start with, hey, am I going to be doing, do I want the best quality? That's bananas. Now, here's the deal. Whether you're looking at the drift auto sync or the huge file sizes or the lack of light that I have right now as it relates to me being concerned about not having enough daylight. Everything boils down to there are compromises you have to make with this phone. And I understand that better than most. My problem with it is when you're watching YouTube videos and you're hearing people say use your phone and things like that, I wonder if they're talking about B-roll where there's no audio, no nothing, and you're just trying to get some smooth B-roll shots, or are they actually talking about using your phone as your daily driver? Because with me trying to use my phone, it has been very frustrating, and I'm hoping that this video right here comes out correctly, because if it don't, honestly, I'm gonna have to roll with it because I don't have a lot of daylight left. And as you know, I'm at work. So a part of me using, action cams and things like that is I can do it super quick, get what I need, and then I can run back into work. Right now I'm at work. So if this clip don't work, I've been trying it so much to the point where if it's out of sync or something like that, I don't have no other choice but to keep going with it, because at the end of the day, I'm out of time. Now, that brings me to another point that I just learned today. I highly, highly, highly recommend that on day one, and that's a train going by, so you get to see how the audio sound, because as you can see, I'm not mic'd up or anything like that rather, and this is directly out of camera. So the number one takeaway for this is, honestly, I highly recommend you figure out two things. One, how do you want to record? Do you want to record in a log profile, or do you want to record in a regular profile? Because if you want to record in a regular profile, then you can go to your iPhone app and do that, or you can go to the Blackmagic camera app that I'm using and do that. And you won't have to deal with a lot of these constraints or bottlenecks that's popping up for me. Now, if you want to keep it as high quality as possible, like I do, because when my A camera is always shooting log, with my little action cams and stuff like that, I'm never in log, it's always in auto. But because this is my A cam, I want it to be in log with the best quality possible, and the only way to do that is to shoot in a flat profile. So once you shoot in your flat profile, I would say point it at you, so you can make sure you get your skin tones right. And I would say make sure you have your composition good. Like right now, I can't tell you if my composition is good. The only thing I could tell you is I have the camera lens directly in front of me, so I'm hoping that has me centered. But there's been times where I done this, and then I go look at the footage, and for whatever reason, the Blackmagic camera decided to zoom in 1x or 6x, and I honestly don't know why I was doing that. I still don't know. I still haven't figured out what that was about yet. So that's another pothole that I had to deal with. But you want to make sure you do that 30 seconds of recording to 1 minute. After you do that, you want to take it into your preferred editor. You want to make sure that you using your preferred editor, whether that's DaVinci Resolve, LumaFusion, Final Cut Pro, iMovie, whatever you use, whatever your preference is. And the reason why you want to do that is because once you take it up in there, you're going to see the constraints of the footage, meaning that if you like pushing the colors around, or if you like editing a certain type of way, if you like doing a certain style, you're going to be able to see the limitations of it. And when you actually start using your phone for that week or moving forward, you will know if that makes sense for you or not, based off of how easy that first clip was to edit. More importantly, you don't make the mistake I did. Sit down, record all these videos just to find out none of them work, and now you got to redo the whole process all over again. That right there, that hit different. So after using my phone for the last 7 days, here's what I've realized. You're going to take some hits using just your phone. That's a given, right? But I'm not talking about hits from the standpoint of video quality or audio quality. I'm talking about hits from the standpoint of productivity. As you know, I work full-time jobs and do this channel on the side. So because of that, I'm always looking at what boosts my productivity and what slows my productivity down. Having just a phone definitely slows my productivity down. More importantly, because I was just using my phone, there were shots that I just simply couldn't get because I only had one camera. So for example, what I realized is if all I have is this one camera, how do I take a picture of the final result that I was able to get if all I got is this one camera. Sure, you could say, all right, well, if all you got is one camera, you can use your girl, your guy, your significant other, your mom, your dad, whoever, phone to take that shot to get that thumbnail, which would be true. However, when it comes to a tech YouTuber like me who do a lot of unboxings, it gets a little bit different because when I was doing the unboxings, I realized that when the camera, for whatever reason, the Beast Cam, it automatically opens up the field of view. So because it opens up the field of view, when I put bigger packages in front of the camera, it doesn't shrink back down. So what happens is, because of that, once I realized it was doing that, I had to record each individual clip one by one so I could go back, reset the camera settings to where I needed it to be, because I could not find a setting inside the Beast Cam that said leave it at my tele lens, one focal length, don't zoom in, don't zoom out, don't do anything, leave it like that. I wasn't able to find that setting. If it's up in there, share with me below because I need to know where it's at. Could have been that I was frustrated and overlooked it. That's possible. However, another compromise you're making when you're just using your phone is, for example, right now, I have what I believe to be a really, really cool setup. Hopefully you can tell that my audio is better, that I'm not as frustrated as I was at first. And that's because I have some accessories that's helping me out, helping my phone out. It's not just my iPhone anymore. And this is the compromise that you're going to have to make. Like, I get it. On one hand, it's like, should you buy accessories or should you just go buy a camera? And honestly, first I'm gonna tell you everything I got to enhance this phone. So in order to get the shot that you see here and now, the very first thing I had to do was tackle getting some type of cage to put around my phone. So for me, I went with the small rig cage mainly because it gives me a lot of options. More importantly than the options it gives me, it looked like the coolest thing that I can get with the least amount of setup, because I already have a phone cage that I can keep on, and it's just designed to slide right into that cage. That right there works wonders for me because it still got the back out and I'm still able to have that MagSafe feature available to me, which is pretty important for me. The next thing that I really needed to make sure I take care of was a way to be able to hold the cage, because I didn't want to just hold the phone like traditional. I wanted to be able to get some creative shots. Because of that, I decided to pick up the small rig handle. Now, I got two of them. And the reason why is because I wanted to be able to hold it on each side or do whatever I wanted to do with the cage and manipulate the footage or get whatever camera angle I want without fear or worrying about dropping a phone or anything like that. So it just made sense for me to get two handles, which directly goes with this specific cage. The next thing that I grabbed was a tripod. Now, the tripod I decided to go with was a small rig tripod. The reason why I'm going with a lot of small rig accessories is one reason: productivity. I want to be able to break it down really fast, put it back up really fast, and I don't want it to be a lot of twisting and turning to set up things and break it down and put it up. I wanted speed of implementation, and small rig is the best company out there for it. None of this stuff is sponsored, as you know. This is a very small channel. I don't feel like I really should have to say that, but just in case, I spent my money on all this stuff. So I know a lot of people are talking about small rig right now. I don't fall into that category. I actually spent my own money and I bought it because it's the best out there for what I need it for, which is speed of implementation, getting it up as quick as possible. To that effect, one of the things that I wanted to make sure I got was a quick release plate. And surprisingly enough, Small Rig has a quick release plate that attaches to your tripod that allows you to be able to mount your phone really quickly, take it off, take it down really fast. Now, unfortunately, the one that I got is defective, so I'm sending it back. I'm currently using it right now to hold my phone, so it gets the job done, but I'm sending it back so that they can send me out one that's not defective. The one that I got only clamps on one side and not both sides. And when I did the research, I thought maybe I got the wrong one. Turns out I didn't get the wrong one. I got the right one. And it was just this one has some issues going on with it. So I'm sending this one back as soon as the other one come in. Now, while I'm not using it in this specific scene right here, because honestly I didn't need it, I did pick up some small rig lights, and I did get two. The reason, my thinking behind getting two was I can have one on each side of the handle, so I get a balanced light and it's not looking like light is just coming from one side of, my device. So for that reason, I got two. I don't know if it made sense to do that, but in my head it made sense, so I grabbed two because I was already spending money, so it just made sense to have an extra one just in case, and I ain't have to worry about going back to get another one. But again, I'm not using a light in this specific scene, so you won't be able to see the benefits of the light because honestly, I did not need the light for this specific scene right here. Now, I don't think you can talk about upgrading your phone and not talk about getting some type of filter. So for me, I decided to grab small rigs ND filter mount. The reason why I like this is because it's magnetic, which means I don't have to screw the filters on. They just easily magnetically attach to it. And as you would guess, it is a small rig clamp that goes directly in line with this cage. That's the reason why I like this cage so much, because it's so modular and there's so many different ways I can use it and do things to it. And it doesn't require me to constantly take my phone out of a case to put it in this case, because this case already is there. And that's one of the things I really, really like, and that can't be overstated. Now, I did get the small rig ND filters. Now, the ND filters for me, the main reason why I got them is because I want to keep that shutter speed rule. And honestly, it being magnetized, I can double up. I can use the mist filter with the ND filter. I can use the polarization filter with the ND filter if I want. You can mix and match is my point. So for me, it was worth it. I suppose I really won't know until I actually start using it. Again, in this specific scene, I did not need to use it, so I'm not using it in this specific scene because the lighting up in the car right now, it's a cloudy day. Like, it's been snowing and raining, like it's Chicago problem. So here, I haven't needed to use it for today because ain't no sun out. So one of the things that you're definitely going to need when it comes to shooting in any log type footage that requires bigger files, whether that's Android or iPhone, is a way to store that footage. So I decided to grab this clamp right here. This clamp allows me to be able to attach a SSD to my phone, even if it's not magnetized or MagSafe. This clamp turns it into MagSafe, and the SSD that I decided to get to go with it is the T9 Shield. Now, I do have other SSDs like enclosures and things like that, but the main reason why I decided to go with this specific one is because it was sitting on my stand. It wasn't being used. It's something I already had, and I could dedicate it directly to mobile videography. So that's the reason why I went with it. Other than that, honestly, I don't have another good reason. And if you watch my what's in my camera bag, you'll know that I also have another enclosure that I bought and set up on that's for a more lighter setup, for a more quicker, when you want to get things done and don't really need maybe this big setup right here. When it comes to my audio, I decided to move away from DJI mainly because the Highland Mark IIs was also just sitting on my stand, never open, and I wanted to give them a try. But more importantly, they came with a receiver directly for the iPhone that made things a lot easier for me. So it was kind of a plug and play system. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to really fiddle around with anything. And the cool thing about that is it works out beautifully. Like, I tested the sound. I love the sound I get out of these headphones. It makes my voice sound much deeper, much richer. The it sounds really good. I don't want to nerd out on audio, but just understand I really like how my voice sounds in this, and coming from this Hollyland Mark II. It almost sounds as if I'm sitting in front of an actual microphone. That's how close the presence feel within my voice. So I like it a lot, and these are definitely win for me. Now, I'm not using this right now in this specific shot as well, but one of the things that I really wanted to get so that when I'm out getting B-roll, because here's the deal. When you're using ProRes RAW or log footage on the iPhones, you have no stabilization. So your footage becomes unusable if you're hand holding it. So because of that reason, I picked up a gimbal to make sure that when I want to get B-roll shots and I'm not locked off on a tripod like I am now, I don't have to worry about my footage being extra shaky or unusable because it's still utilizing that tripod. The very last thing that I must have moving forward, like I'm addicted to this thing, and that is the small rig monitor. This is something that I already had laying around from my Z Fold review. And honestly, this is a must in my bag. If it broke today, I would go out and buy another one. That's how important it is for me to be able to see it. Now, the cool thing about it is this right here. I'm going to switch off and show you. You can see that, well, I can't see if you can see it, but I hope you can see that I get to see the false colors from the Blackmagic camera app and everything else. So I know exactly what's in focus, what's not in focus, and more importantly, I know how much time I have left. So right now I can see that this has been going for 19 minutes, but more importantly, I can see that with the SD card that I have plugged in, I have 27 minutes on it. So it allows me to see up front how close I'm getting before that time just cut off before I run out of storage. Now, I didn't mention it, but I also have my Anchor power bank attached to the back of the phone because I also have the Blinkist for USB-C port plugged in. So there's no way for me to show it to you without messing up the footage. Again, this is the compromises you make when all you use is a phone. I would argue that you at least need another camera, whether it's an action cam or something like that, you at least need another camera. So after seeing everything that I use to level up my camera, it comes back to the question of, does it make sense to start with the phone in your pocket? Or does it make sense to bite the bullet and go out and buy a real camera starting where you are now? And the answer to that is really simple. It depends on you and who you are. I'm going to tell you my thoughts on it. But first, let's take a look at everything that's in this cart. So as you can see, this is everything that I purchased with my own money. And now you can see this is everything that's in the cart that I've already purchased. Everything you're seeing in this video is the only thing that's in this cart. So if we total out everything right now to purchase everything that you see in the cart, it will come out to $1,381.12. So let's just round it off and say $1,400 for simple numbers, because I know I'm not going to keep on remembering the exact penny. So with $1,400, should you spend $1,400 on phone accessories, or should you go out and purchase a camera with $1,400? Honestly, I would argue that you should start with your phone. Do I think you should purchase all this stuff for $1,400? Absolutely not. I think that you should start with the bare bone basics of your true needs. Like, I did not have to spend $1,381.12 on phone accessories. I did it because I've been in it for a little while, and some of the stuff that I grabbed, remember, was already sitting on my shelf. So the T9 SD card, for example, was already sitting on my shelf. The Holleylark Marks was already sitting on my shelf. Those two accessories was already on the shelves. I just never opened them up. I never had a reason to. The Insta360, I bought that from, I think I was in the Apple store. So I bought that in the Apple store. But all the other accessories came directly from Amazon. So do I think that you should spend that type of money starting out? No. I think the benefits of using your phone is you get to see if it's something you really want. And because if you're not in a newer phone, I would probably argue that it would be better money spent to upgrade your phone to a newer phone and keep your accessories as simple as possible. Mainly because today you literally can take your phone, this phone that I'm using right now, the iPhone 14 Pro Max, or if you want to, the Z Fold, you can use the Z Fold as well. And you can actually use ProRes RAW for the iPhone and log for the Z Fold and start learning actual real skills that when you actually get to a real camera, it will be super easy for you to be able to color grade your footage and things like that. I think that the amount of skills that you get from just using your phone is unprecedented, honestly. And I feel like even when I was taking pictures on this phone, I feel like the fact that I could shoot pictures in RAW and then take those into Lightroom and start actually pushing the colors around and making that picture look as if I shot it on my actual Sony a7 IV, that's bananas to me. Like, you can't go wrong with that. So, do I think you should start with the phone in your pocket? Absolutely. Do I think you should go out and spend $1,400 on the phone? Well, to answer that, I want to share a story with you. My very first phone was a T9, which was, I'm sorry, it was a T3 or T4, something like that. It was the T4 because the T4 I had, the swivel screen. So I met someone downtown, and he sold it to me for like $350. This is back when you could still meet up with people and buy stuff from them, right? Now, after having that, I felt like I was missing out. I felt like the phone wasn't advanced enough. I wasn't able to use picture profiles and things like that. So, not too long after, I seen Sony come out with the A6400. So I went out, I bought the A6400, and I bought the body only. I bought that off Amazon. And what happened was, when I bought that, I realized I had never used 4K before. So all of a sudden, I had a camera that shoots in 4K, but because it shot in 4K, I couldn't do anything with it because the laptop at the time I had couldn't handle that footage. So when you're looking at a camera that you want to upgrade to, it's not just about that camera you want to upgrade to. Because if you go out and let's say you buy a camera, a $1,300 camera or an $800 camera, you still need the accessories that enhance that camera. And 9 times out of 10, the very first thing you want to start with is a lens, because the stock lens that come with a camera isn't always good. That's the reason why when I bought the A6400, I bought body only, and I then turned around and I bought a lens for it, which was, I think, the 24 to 108 lens, something like that. And those two together was a nice chunk of change. But what I didn't realize in the moment is when I bought that, I needed to upgrade my laptop. My 2012 or 2010 MacBook Pro was no longer sufficient, and editing on there was a nightmare. So when you're looking at if you should use the phone in your pocket or if you should go with a camera, I just understand they both have trade-offs. The question is, what trade-off can you accept? For me, I can accept the trade-offs that come with this phone because at the end of the day, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. It forces me to think outside the box. Yeah, I had to dial in some settings. Yeah, I had a lot of frustrating moments over the last 7 days. However, the amount of work that I can execute on and the fact that I can literally record a video and then use the exact same device to watch back, do playback on that, and do some quick cuts to see if it makes sense to keep that clip or redo it and not clutter up my SD card with all these different clips of the same thing. That right there is a productivity hack within itself, like honestly. So at the end of the day, should you use the phone in your pocket or should you go out and buy a camera? I say if you have the disposable income and you just want a real camera, then I say go for it. If you don't have that disposable income and you're not 100% sure that this is something you want to do, I say take those hits, take those learning lessons that you're going to learn from using just your phone. Like, I can't tell you how much I've learned from just using my phone and forcing myself not to pick up my camera. Like, it's bananas how much I've learned about the Beast. I don't know why I want to keep calling it the Beast Cam app, but the Black Magic camera app, ProRes as a whole, being it like I didn't even know you could format your SD card from your phone. You could actually format your SD card from your phone to ensure everything works together. So, moral of the story is I enjoyed this process once I got my accessories. Before I got my accessories, I would not try to record off the phone. If I'm doing talking head, B-roll, absolutely. But if I'm doing talking head, I wouldn't try to record off the phone without these accessories because they just make my life easier. With that being said, hopefully you got some value out this video. If you did, make sure you give me a thumbs up. If you haven't checked out my first 7 days with the iPhone 17 Pro Max, I recommend you watch that video right here.